Horror to haunt you. Terror to make you tremble. Number one for horror, the dreadful vampire, Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Coming to a theatre near you soon. The film begins with a recap of what happened in the horror of Dracula and how Van Helsing defeated Dracula by exposing him to sunlight. Admittedly, it's a very cheap way of starting the film. Show 10 minutes of footage from the previous film, but it's an effective introduction for new viewers. Open to a forest scene with pallbearers carrying a coffin of what appears to be a young woman. A woman notices them from afar. One of the pallbearers pulls out a hammer and stake and positions it over the young woman, ready for the killing blow. Suddenly, gunfire. As a father, Shandor...
The architect's name was Ivo Shandor. I found it in Tobin's Spirit Guide. He was also a...
No, not the leader of the cult of Gozer from Ghostbusters. Cut to a tavern, where several tourists from England are seen chatting amongst themselves, hopefully broadening their minds that travel brings. The priest enters to warm the hole in his body. Certainly, the warming of one's backside is not part of the grand design. He learns that the tourists are heading in the direction of Carlsbad and provides them with a dire warning not to head in that direction. Along the road to Carlsbad, they have an argument with the coach driver and he refuses to take them any further down the road. He leaves them on the road not far from a mysterious abandoned castle. Another coach pulls up with no driver at the helm. Betting to not be stranded in the middle of nowhere, they hop on board. The horses, with minds of their own, deliver the tourists straight to the front door of the castle, where they're expected for dinner. Or are they dinner? They are greeted by Clover, the butler, later learned to be a servant of the Dark Lord himself. That night, he lures in and kills one of the tourists. In a sacrificing ritual, he drains his blood so the Prince of Darkness will rise again.
There was a very long opening recap scene at the start there, adding a further 10 minutes of running time to the film, most of which was completely unnecessary. Talking of saving money on the film's budget, many of the exterior sets seen are reused on many other Hammer horror films. The most notably is Rasputin, where the castle's front is used as Rasputin's villa in Moscow. So let's get this out of the way before we dive into the positives. The four main characters, the tourists, are truly stupid people. The skeptical woman is like a broken record. I don't trust this. I don't think we should go in here. I don't think I should wash my hair today, etc. I think the problem is there is little to no character development with the main four characters. They're strung along because, well, the plot requires them to do so. Speaking of convenient plot points, taken from the original Dracula, a Renfield-esque character, a character who is another servant of Dracula, does appear, but is only used as a plot device rather than a fully explored character. It is at this point of the film starts to crawl. It's about two-thirds of the way in, and there is a sense that the final act is drawn out to increase the running time of the film. That all said, the film builds to a good level of suspense, with Dracula not shown until the 49th minute in the film. The sets of Dracula's castle are superb, the music is a joy, the wondrous, bright, vivid colours Hammer is known for return in all their glory.
The film contains an awesome resurrection scene, accomplishing great physical special effects that puts newer CGI effects to complete shame. And I've never seen Dracula die by falling under ice before. It is really quite unique. Death by water.
By this time in their run of producing great horror classics, Hammer was in full swing. They produced a Dracula film that was not your stereotypical vampire film that everybody was expecting. Christopher Lee returns to his role as Dracula and is terrifying as ever. It's missing Peter Cushing as Van Helsing, the main hero from the previous two films. At this point, he does not return until 6 years later on in Dracula AD 1972, as the Frankenstein franchise continued to keep him busy. It's not a bad film. I would stick it close to the top of a watch list, but a great film for Halloween. Thumbs up. On a final note, The Blu-ray release I reviewed here does have an audio out of sync issue with video in some scenes, but it's really not that noticeable, and I still had an enjoyable time watching it.